Welcome back to Charles III podcast. I'm joined with my good friend, Jake. Not going to say his last name.
What's up?
He's here, and we're going to get into it today. I know what I keep saying to him when we have our conversations, because we talk on the phone a lot, and a lot's an understatement, honestly, because I'll call him on like a Sunday, or he'll call me, and we'll talk for 2.5 hours, or even on just a weekday, like a Monday or Tuesday. We'll just hop on the phone. Like today, actually, I talked to him during my whole workout.
Yeah.
Like I was in the car, and I called him on my way to the gym, and I hung up after my workout while I was sitting in the lobby. I already completed my workout.
I only heard you during like one set.
I was like, hold on, I got to go to failure.
Yeah, I was like, what? Is that Mike Menser just taking it ultimately to failure one time?
You got to. You fucking got to. But I know you said you wanted to, there were some things that were on your heart that you'd like to talk about.
Man, I hate that term, on my heart.
It is on your heart, dude.
I've heard so many people start off conversations with me, and they're like, I got something on my heart I got to tell you.
I know you get nervous. When somebody says it, you're like, fuck, what did I do?
And then they're always full of shit, but that's a whole
Not
different
always.
conversation.
Not
Yeah.
always.
It's
They
just like
have
the
good
exact
intention.
wording.
They have good intention.
Just me with like bad bias now because of it. I feel like it's so intense just to get right into it. Oh yeah, something that
Real quick. That's what we got to do. This is what this is for.
All right.
This is what this is for. No nonsense. Getting deep. Let it all out.
Right. Okay.
You know what I mean?
All
Remember,
right.
it's about living in your truth.
All right, yeah. So one piece of knowledge or like advice that like I would want to give you is just that everything got better for me when I realized that no one's going to be there for me. No one. Ever. Like I don't like friends, family, right? Like you can never expect them to be there for you. Like yeah, like they're there for you, don't get me wrong, but like at the end of the day, all you have is yourself. Cuz like you go to bed, you look in the mirror, it's just you.
Yeah, I kind of use that analogy sometimes when talking about certain things in life, how when you go to bed at night and you're laying there alone with
Right.
your thoughts. Like, yeah, I know what you mean about, like, oh, yeah, like you can call your dad and he's going to listen. He's going to try and help you. But at the end of the day, like it's you versus you.
Right.
Like nobody's going to, you're right. Nobody's going to be there. Like I'm not going to do your homework for you. You know what I mean? But like I'm going to be a shoulder to cry on if you need it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I can offer as much support as I can, like physically and emotionally. But there's a point where you have to do your own work. So like if that's what you mean.
No, that is what I mean, because like you can talk to someone on the phone or you can have someone console you, but afterwards, like, and that's over, it's still just you, right? Or like you, like, because I always have this instance like where I depend on someone for something, right? And like I get like the desired result, like they're there for me and they give me all that they can, but still, it's like no one's really there for me at the end of the day. Or like I don't know why I've adopted this mindset, but like if something goes wrong, I just usually depend on myself. Not in a sense that like I can do it all, but just to not be disappointed at the end of the day.
Well, what made you think of that?
I have no idea how I came to that conclusion. Just every time something goes wrong, it's like, yeah, honestly, I really couldn't expect anyone else to like be there for me.
When anything goes wrong.
Yeah. Because I know I'm there for a lot of people, and I don't mind doing that at all. But like, I don't expect that in return.
Yeah, I agree. Because as much trauma and suffering as I feel like I've experienced, it's one of those things where like I deal with it in my own ways. You know, like I can only confide in you so much about my
Right.
issues. When I hang up that phone, like it's time to do something.
Yeah, it gets real really fast, you know?
Yeah, it gets fucking real. Like,
Yeah. Every time I do that, like I'll look at myself afterwards and be like, that's right, it's just me. And now I'm here with myself.
it gets heavy.
Mm-hmm.
That shit is heavy.
Right. I feel like I talk to people a lot as like a distraction. That's like why I'm always hanging out with people, you know? And at the end of the day, it's still just me. It's that drive home alone.
Yeah, and that's what I was telling you about earlier a little bit about like, yeah, I can take what you say and utilize what I think is useful from it. But at the end of the day, like we all like have experienced our own lives in our own ways. And when I was talking about like living your truth, like you just got to handle it like with what your heart says.
Right. Do
And
like what you think is right for you.
What you think is right, but you just got to make sure to differentiate between those thoughts. Are they originating from fear and anxiety, or are they originating from love and intuition and gratitude? And that's where people fuck up. That's where I fucked up a lot in my past, is acting on impulse based on fear and anxiety rather than pure love, pure emotion, like pure gratitude. You know what I mean? Because it's like, if I act on fear, like for example, like between us, like I could just like do an act out of something that isn't just pure love and gratitude, and it's not going to go it's not going to be authentic. You know what I mean? And that's another thing that I was saying about dealing with some things recently. Like, I just got to stay true to myself, you know, like I've never been the type, I don't play games. Like I don't like to get toxic. I don't want to be malicious to anybody ever. Like, I just want to just be myself. And as long as I know that I'm not being malicious and I'm just radiating love in a sense, like, dude, that's
eventually the universe will give you love back. That's really how it goes. I mean, if you only put out a certain type of energy, that's all you're going to receive eventually. And sometimes you have to wait, and that sucks.
Dude, the patience is it. I mean, I was even watching a video of Wim Hof like the other day, and he was saying, he's like, the hardest part is waiting in anything. Because he was talking about his science, like, not being well known. And he's talking about, like, the hardest part. He's like, I've already proven it. Like, I just have to wait for like it to catch on for the rest of the world and like the science books and whatever, the medical journals. Dude, remember what I said like when you were playing Fallout like 10 seconds ago about I'm just going to be authentic, living my truth, and if you fucking take advantage of me, that's on you.
Oh yeah, you did say that to me. You're like,
yeah, I wasn't talking about Jake, but I was talking about just in general, like kindness and stuff and people getting taken advantage of. And it's like, you know, like if anybody is going to take advantage of you and you're just, you know, being your authentic self, you're not playing along, whatever, like you're living in your truth while handling situations, and all your actions and words come from love, gratitude, intuition, appreciation, and you still get like taken advantage of, like that's on that fucking person. Like that doesn't make you less of a person.
Right. But also you got to think about it in like the spec that like the universe, in a sense, like you can just like imagine this, that it would watch like what you're doing. Right.
The universe would watch what you're doing?
Right. So, yeah. So if you never act out of like maliciousness or like bad intent, eventually you're going to get something good back.
That's kind of what I'm saying. That's kind of what I'm saying, because, you know, like sometimes you give in to the hate, like when you were younger and you're like,
yeah, you just get angry.
You're like, oh yeah, you want to fucking play games? Like we're playing games. And then it never goes well. But or like you hear like people always being malicious, get in their way and shit. And you're like, you know what? Fine, I'm gonna give into it and go that route. And you go that route, and it fails bad,
just
and you
backfires on you, and then all the negativity comes right back,
and you feel 10 times worse.
Yeah, because you knew you were in the wrong.
Because you were in the wrong, and you still didn't get what you wanted. It's just fucked up.
Yeah, not getting what you want sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember when I wrote this down when we were talking earlier, because I was like, dude, we got to like stop talking about good shit because we need to save it for the podcast.
What did you say earlier?
The fuel leak in my mind and taking a flame to it. So reacting without notice, like talking about.
Well, give us some premise. Okay. So
I'll give you some premise, because what we were talking about, I told him this morning. Oh yeah,
bring up that I have a fuel leak in my truck.
Yeah, he brought up that there was a fuel leak, and then I was like, damn, dude, that feels like my emotions sometimes.
That's how we get.
Because we were joking about how like he's got this fuel leak, and if he just takes a lighter to it, he's fucking dead.
Yeah, like I was driving and I was just sitting there thinking, I was like, dang, like I literally, my life could just flash before my eyes and I can just combust right now.
Because you said it would just turn white. And you're dead.
Yeah, it's literally shooting fuel outside of the fuel line. Right.
Yeah, if you just take a lighter, you just need one spark and it's done.
Yeah, like just someone ashes a cigarette out their window and I'm fucking gone.
Yeah, technically, yeah. That's what could happen. But I was explaining, I forgot why I said it, but I was like, yeah, dude, like this morning I just sat in my couch, journaled and cried, and then went to the gym.
Yeah.
And then I forgot like what brought that up, but I was just like, yeah, it's been rough, bro. Like, like I was like, I just sit down, I start writing, and I just start fucking crying. Like I like let it out.
Right, but that's facing your emotions head on, because you're like literally like, yeah, I better journal and cry right now before I get everything else done.
Yeah, because I saw that not that like doing one action like journaling means the same thing to everybody, but for me, like it helps me declutter my mind of things that are really weighing on my heart. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that I can't just go and tell somebody, you know, like even if it's like, it could be super personal or not, but it's just things that are like, it starts getting crowded in here. And if you put them down and they're recorded, you feel like you can kind of let them go now.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're
Yeah.
actually like putting them on paper, reading them out loud. Sometimes saying that they're ridiculous, or sometimes saying that they're good, and then it's like, oh, like I'm accepting this now. So that is like you're directly facing your emotions head on,
Yeah, and
which
like
is like what you need to do.
and
Because a
you're-
lot of people just let it build up.
yeah, and that's that's where you end up lashing out in some manner. Even not, it doesn't have to be on somebody, but like you might get really angry in traffic or something, or you just snap or you break
like, some
something.
snaps, and then
Yeah.
like you like draw some at work.
Yeah.
And like it's just the last straw.
Yeah, it's because like when I'm recording what I'm feeling, it's just like it all like lets loose. You know what I mean? And that's what I felt about like the fuel leak. It's like if sometimes it feels like my mentality or my emotions is like a fuel leak, and it takes like one thing with like that flame, you just bring it right to it, and before you know it, like I'm already like into the emotions. I'm already crying.
It's
You know
like
what I
everything's
mean?
built up as if fuel was leaking, right? And then
Yeah.
like the smallest thing could set it off.
Exactly. Like that one trigger. It doesn't even matter what it is, dude. Like I've cried so fucking much like the last year.
Right.
Actually, not even the last year, like the last like 6 months specifically.
Right.
Like and it's not always like a sad kind. It's just like, dude, I've been getting emotional lately. And I think it's also due lately like getting in tune with myself.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, you have to be in tune for your emotions because I'm not as in tune, and like I don't experience that.
Yeah.
You know. But I feel like if I was like directly like in line with them and like paying attention, or like I don't know, feeling your emotions more, right? Then you'd be more susceptible to something like that. But that's
Yeah.
back to the point: is that like why do you have a fuel leak? Why can the spark set you off and just explode you? Right.
Yeah, well,
That's what you got to consider.
well, I think the reason why there's that fuel leak is because I'm living in my truth.
Right. Okay.
You know, I'm not being somebody I'm fucking not anymore.
Right.
like,
Because
I'm-
everyone feels emotions, right?
Yeah, obviously everybody feels emotions, you know, with exceptions to NPCs.
Oh boy.
You know, but half joke, half serious. We can get, that's a topic for another
You know what I
discussion.
don't like is that even like everyone uses that now.
Yeah.
Just as like a broad term to describe people. They're like,
Yeah. But that's, I mean, a lot of things catch on like that though.
yeah.
You know, but anyways, like that fuel leak I think is due to because I'm not bottling it up anymore. Like I'm not storing all this fuel now in like the shed
Yeah.
anymore. Now it's right here. And I'm not like putting it away. I'm not hiding it anymore. I'm like letting it come to me as it does. And I'm releasing it as it comes to me through like journaling or meditation, like
Right.
taking a deep breath. Like lately, like I've been taking a lot of deep breaths. Like
No,
at
I heard
work.
you talking about that.
Dude, it's because I saw something about it and I'm like, this is kind of weird. I'm like, there's no way. Because then I was talking about like, oh, like people always say, calm down, take a deep breath. But really, it's about being in the present. And when you take a breath like that, like it really brings you back to the present. And that's why I like it so much.
Yeah, no, because I do that regularly. Like, so like I heard you talking about it, and like that's something I actually take seriously, and I've done for a while. It's like
Yeah.
I'll just inhale, and then I don't know. I guess it works. I'm not sure.
It does. Well, I also heard there's like something like with metabolic stress because think about how much shallow breathing we do without even realizing it. Like we're on autopilot. We're just doing a lot of shallow breathing.
Right now, I'm thinking about it, but yeah.
Yeah, but so now that's why we're never taking long breaths. There's a lot of like a build up of just like nonsense in there, like metabolic waste, because you're just holding on to all that shit.
Metabolic, like, just like it's just literally carbon dioxide at the bottom of your lungs because you don't take long exhales either.
Yeah. See, that felt refreshing right there.
Right, but being in the moment, like you said, is so important. I think presence is probably one of the biggest things.
There's somebody, I can never remember these people's names, but somebody said like liberation is the present or presence is the liberation.
Okay.
Because anxiety is living in the future, depression's living in the past.
Yes.
So if you're
So,
in the
yeah.
future or the past, you just come to right in the present time, live in the moment, enjoy it. You know,
Right.
way
No,
less-
no. I heard you. I remember when you said that, and I was thinking the same thing because that's the thing. That's something I do. Like living in the present has stopped me from being anxious all the time. Right? Because like I'm only worried about the moment. And as cheesy as it sounds, like my dad always says, like one step at a time. Just worry about one thing.
Yeah.
You got to take a test. Like, well, go to the website. That's the smallest
Yeah.
first step you can take. Be like, I don't need to worry about like how I'm going to study or all that up front. Just
Yeah.
one step at a time.
That's like almost like the smallest achievable goal, like in that moment,
Right.
is probably like what you need to be focused on, rather than worrying about how like you immediately you're picturing the end result. You're
Right. And like the work it'll take to get there, and you sit there and you dwell on it. Right.
yeah. Well, it's
And it
kind
doesn't
of
have to be like a huge victory when you do the first step. It's just taking it on slowly, you know?
dude. It was like when we were going to California.
Oh,
I was just in my head. I'm like, fuck, we're gonna be in California, dude. You know, but then once I was like, all right, calm the fuck down. How about I just get in the car
Yeah.
and let Brad drive us to the airport? And once I was in the moment and we were fucking around in the car, joking, having a good time, laughing, like I was completely fine.
It was all good. Yeah. The
Yeah.
jokes were there. You were
Yeah.
paying attention to that.
Yeah,
you
me
know?
and you talking on the plane and like just being in the moment of like even like our seat situation.
Right. That's true though. It's very true because you were talking about the flight home when we were going there. You're like, that flight home is gonna be awful. I was
Yeah.
like, what, dude? How
Yeah.
can you even worry about that right now?
I know. And then it's like once I started living in the moment, you know, that's when, dude, it's like all these things come to me at one time. And even such as like this thought I've had lately about just like manifesting what you want and like the universe's path for you and like following the flow of the universe. And it's like what's really calmed me down lately is thinking that whenever you start to get frustrated, think this one thing.
Okay.
Think, I'm actually where I'm supposed to be right now.
Yes, that is something that I always believe in myself. When I'm sad, when something goes really wrong, it's like, this is meant to be.
Like, it goes a little bit deeper than that. Like, I'm taking that
I
phrase.
make it surface,
yeah. I'm going a little bit deeper on that one, on that premise, and saying, I am right where I'm supposed to be in this ultimate plan that is provided for me.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, the universe has this plan for you. Like, obviously, I can just, like anybody can just go kill themselves tomorrow and like you can just fuck up your plan. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying like no matter what this plan is going to happen. Like you have to put your truth into it for it to work. Like you can't just be a fucking fraud and expect this plan to unfold for you like destiny, right? You can't just like
oh yeah, I see it more as destiny.
Yeah,
No.
like Arthur and the fucking sword, dude. Like if he never pulled the sword out, like he's not fulfilling his destiny.
Yeah,
You know what I
that's
mean?
true.
It's like that. Like, yes, you have this destiny, you have this plan. You can't resist the fucking flow. As soon as you resist the flow of the universe, like, you're going to be in a world of fucking pain. Because you're trying, dude, it's like a door that's locked, and you're just fucking trying to open it over and over again. You're like, open this fucking door, dude, please, open this fucking door. This is what I want. This is what I want. And then all of a sudden, like, you know, behind you, the door opens by itself, like in one of those fucking scary movies.
Right.
And it's like, holy shit, what's that? You go walk over to that door and you peek inside and it's like, this is greater than anything I could have possibly fucking imagined. Fuck that other door I was trying to get in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the door's already open.
Yeah, it was open for you.
I think
You just had to walk through it.
Yeah, you can see that as like a possible avenue that's always available too.
Yeah.
I do think it's somewhat destiny though. I don't know, maybe I just feel like that's unfortunate, but I feel like everything that happens is just, it was meant to happen like that. I mean, maybe in a simpler term is that no matter what, the end goal that I achieve is probably going to be good. I just have faith in that, you know?
But that's where you're going about it right.
Yeah.
Is you literally said, I have faith in it and I'm letting the universe work for me.
Right.
That's why it's going to work.
Yeah, I think no matter what happens.
Yeah,
Even if it's really bad, then it usually just adds to the good at the end.
But it's that mentality that takes you there.
No, definitely. No,
You know?
I don't know where that belief came from, like in me. Maybe I just had to believe it to
Well,
get through
sometimes
things,
this shit is shown to us. Sometimes it's instilled in us.
Right.
Remember the thing? I don't know if you remember from the like prior episode I did. I said what ideas, they were like what essentially they are. The idea is a universe communicating to you.
Right.
Like take advantage of this fucking opportunity, or we're gonna float to the next person. You know, we're gonna if you don't take like if you have this, you're struck with this inspiration, and you don't take advantage of it, you don't act on it. Somebody else will. That idea will be passed to somebody else.
That's a mentality too.
Yeah.
That you need to take advantage of everything that comes in your path because someone else
Yeah.
will, right?
Yeah.
Someone else would. That's the other thing too. So
We're all capable.
that's a whole thing about how everyone's capable.
We're all capable.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want.
I don't know why, but I believe I can do anything. I don't know what
Yeah.
I've achieved or what I've done to get me to that point where I'm just like, I can do anything. But
Yeah, we talked about that too on the phone earlier. I was
Right.
talking about like, he was talking about he got, what certification was it?
I got an ASE cert yesterday.
How do you say it?
ASE.
ASE. Explain
So
what that is to
that's
anybody that doesn't
okay.
know.
So that's
it's a mechanic term.
Yeah,
thing.
it's an automotive service excellence certification. And it's really not shit, but it's like worldwide, like recognized, and like all the serious techs have all their certs, right?
Yeah.
And that's like what separates the crowd. And they
Yeah.
do that on purpose, but that's a whole different thing.
Well, I was telling him like, dude, that's really fucking admirable because to just hear about that kind of stuff, I'm like, damn, dude, that's fucking cool and like knowledgeable, and it makes me want to do things that are great. And then it made me realize, I was thinking, I'm not discrediting anything that he's done by any means, but I have that same mentality that he had said, where I can do anything that I set my mind to.
Right.
And I'm thinking, dude, like, that'd be so cool to go learn. Dude, I was even at one point, I was looking up like motorcycle mechanic stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, but wait, dude, they don't even get paid that much. Why would I waste my time on this? Like, this isn't even my
Right.
fucking truth. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't me.
Right, like the light just looks shiny, you know, you just go like
Yeah.
trophy searching.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, I know I could do this, but like, what is this going to do for me? Like, probably nothing. It's probably just going to
Right.
fuck up the grand plan.
But you
know?
need the mentality. Well, don't say it like that. Definitely, if you see something that interests you,
Yeah.
just check it out.
Well, that, yeah. But I'm saying, like, dude, if I already got my eggs in all these baskets, like, my goal is already clear. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I already know what I want out of life. You know what I mean? So, like, to get distracted by things like that for my ego, it's primarily my ego. I'm like, dude, like, I could do that. I could have that knowledge in my head.
Right, yeah. Like you need to look at me and be like,
Yeah.
I gotta have those certs. That's not shit. And I mean, that's how
But I
that's how I
wouldn't
look
say
at
it.
everyone. So
But I wouldn't say that to you. That's fucked up. Like,
how is
yeah.
it fucked up?
because it's like,
It doesn't discredit any of the time I put in because you'd have to put in the same amount of time.
well,
If you were like, I could do that better than you, that's a whole different story.
yeah, it's true. Like, if you
Right.
just were like, if I showed you a new guitar solo and you're like, dude, I could do that if I just tried,
Right.
I'd be like, honestly, yeah, you fucking could.
Yeah. Yeah. See, exactly.
I'd be like, yeah, but it's gonna take you a long ass time. Go ahead, try it. You know, it's just, how bad do you want it?
Right.
You know?
Right. Like I don't expect you to want it as much as me.
And I don't.
But even like your biggest enemies, like your haters, right? All of them, they can do it too. They could achieve the same amount as you. Are they going to put in the work though? That's the question.
Yeah, dude, it's like those
Right.
fucking comments on my damn TikTok video about my fucking diet. Be like, too much sugar. What are you fucking eating? Cheez-Its?
All right, look, the misinformation of nutrition in general is a whole different problem for the United
That
States.
shit is crazy. Because, dude, my first thought was, like, this motherfucker's probably eating Cheez-Its. And
That's just hate.
but it is
it's
hate.
true, but
Dude,
it's hate.
It's not even like, I'm literally not even taking it personally. Like, it's just like a logical process that I go through where I'm like, all right, you are what you eat. I'm eating grass-fed beef, eggs, and fruit. I'm made up of what my body understands that comes from this earth.
Right.
And this motherfucker's probably eating Cheez-Its, and they're literally made up of Cheez-Its.
Hey, remember the 1776 conversation?
Yeah.
They took back their country because they ate right.
Yeah.
We can't do that now.
Yeah. Be like, dude, those guys for sure were all had beards. We're all fucking hairy, testosterone-filled dudes with muskets.
Yeah.
We're like, we're taking this shit back. Fuck the British
and they
taxes.
could.
Yeah, they could. They were like, fuck the British taxes, taxation without representation. We're dumping the fucking tea in the harbor.
Fuck the tea.
Let's go.
How's that tea? How's the tea taste now, right?
Hey, they be jumping in the water just drinking.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
It's true though.
Yeah, I mean, like, the whole thing about you are what you eat. Like, dude, their genetic makeup was literally fueled by Cheez-Its and fucking...
Right, like you've heard that like your atoms like replenish like every 2 years, right? Every atom in
Or,
your
like,
body,
your
like,
skin cell.
theoretically.
I think it's, like, every 7... dude, this is, like... Don't even quote
Yeah,
me
you're
on
just
this
like
shit.
shooting a number.
Yeah,
out,
I'm just
right?
shooting a
We're
number out. I
guessing.
think I heard 7.
Yeah.
Like, every 7 years, like, every, like, cell in your skin has been, like, replaced.
Right, because cells die and then they
Yeah.
reform. So technically, you're a whole different person.
Yeah.
When I heard that years ago, and I was like, I can be whoever I want to
You're
be.
not the same fucking person.
Yeah, like that built inspiration inside of me. I was like, I can. Like, you're technically not the same person, right? Like, you're out of different cells. Like, yeah, sure, you hold memories and stuff like that. Oh, well, that goes back to what you were saying, that the ego connects the soul to the body, right?
Yeah. Which is crazy because your ego is basically like everything. It's like your judgments, your anger, your envy, anxiety, fear, all that shit
Right.
comes from the ego.
Yeah, just like who you think you are, your persona.
That's why it's so easy to just walk around and get fucking angry all day and get triggered and like just choose your own suffering.
Right, because you deserve better, right? That's the whole problem.
But you notice how like when you feel joy, like it doesn't come from the same place as the fear. Like where like think about the feelings, right? The negative feelings and the positive feelings. They're coming from different places.
oh yeah, no, one's a complete sense of
Yeah.
euphoria. The other one's like a sense of like terror and death.
Besides like what it feels like though, think about the origins of them. One feels like it's coming from the soul, and one feels like it's coming from something artificially like constructed by your mind, like your domestication.
Like
You know
your
what I
mind
mean?
building up walls in order to like prevent itself from enjoying things.
Just whatever it's doing. You know?
Right.
Like I feel like all the negative emotions come from like ego, and all the positive ones come from like soul.
Well, yeah, you can
know?
even like make that simpler. Like joy comes from the present, right? Like what's
Yeah.
happening, right? Fear comes from your ego and past things that have happened, right? No matter what, like if something bad happens in the present, a lot of the time the fear comes from, oh, this is like what I've seen happen. Like this is what's happened to me before. I'm scared, you know?
Yeah, it's like humans are the only self-domesticating animal on Earth.
Okay, so fear is learned, right?
No, I wouldn't say it's learned because remember that rabbit, that bunny that was outside when we got back
He
home?
learned that because he's been chased by dogs, bro.
But it's fear, but it's like, I would say it's like nature's instincts.
Okay.
Like fear,
Yeah, I'll give you that.
to a certain level, fear I think is just like something instilled in all living beings for like a survival. Like
Yeah, like it's a rational conclusion made by
Yeah.
like I need to
well,
fight
it's
or
to
flight
protect you.
response,
Yeah,
right?
it's essentially
Yeah,
fight or
yeah, yeah.
flight, like which you could argue is based on a level of fear. But the
Right.
kind of fear I'm referring to is like, I'm scared to chase my dreams. Like, what if people judge me if I go to the gym because I'm not in shape? What if I eat healthy for a week and it doesn't work and I could have been eating Oreos the whole time and having a good time?
Dude, I just can't even imagine. I'm so far gone. Like
Can't imagine what.
those fears being real.
Dude, I used to be there. I used to literally think,
I mean, I used to be scared to walk
what
to
if
the
I
gym
eat
too,
healthy
but
for a week and it doesn't fucking work and I just ate shit that doesn't taste good and I could have been having a good time if I'm going to be fat anyways. That's that's how I used to
What?
think in like high school, dude.
I just can't imagine those foods even being worth it at all.
The bad ones?
Yeah, like
Well, yeah, but back then,
like
when you're a kid and you don't know any better,
yeah, that's true.
like I only knew different because I was 16 and now I had the freedom and the ability to drive to the gym, which also was in combination of having access to the internet and being able to do research. And I was like, okay,
That's
Like-
fucking crazy
like-
that you started at 16.
yeah, I told you. I actually said it today when we were listening to Goodbye Horses because you're playing Skate
Yeah.
3 and Goodbye Horses. And I was like, dude, I remember listening to this song because I was watching, it's in the Silence of the Lambs
Okay.
in a very specific scene. And I watched Silence of the Lambs at like 7 p.m. on like a summer night after it was like summer vacation. And that was like it was like the same day I got my Planet Fitness membership. Like my dad went and helped sign me up because I was 16 because you need a parent when
Yeah.
you're under 18. And I went like to the gym right after watching the movie, like listening to that song. And that was like the day that changed everything. Like for my mentality, I'm like, dude, I made a conscious decision. Like this is what I'm doing. Like I'm not going to stop. Like I was like, I'm going to the gym now and
That's
I'm never
crazy.
going to stop. Like it's that simple. I'm not going to stop till I fucking win. Like that's
Dude.
what I thought. I'm like, I don't know how I'm going
So
to
you
get there.
run to the top of the Freedom Mountain? Because I feel like I have
the
that.
Greatness Mountain.
Yeah, making it to the top of the Greatness Mountain.
You'll
I don't
never
care
make
what it
it.
takes. I don't care if I need ice picks. I don't care if I lose my partner. I'm gonna run to the top of that fucking mountain.
Yeah, when all your decisions are based in fear,
Yeah.
you're never going to make it to the top of Greatness fucking mountain.
What if I don't make it?
Yeah. But that's the thing about like, to me, a part of like manifesting and following and living in your truth, mind you, because like part of me knew that I'm not meant to be just like this fat piece of shit
Yeah.
and hate myself. Like I remember looking down at my belly one day, like before taking a shower. I'm like, I guess I'll never know what it's like to have abs. I literally said that to myself and I accepted it as fact, as objective fact.
Made an agreement.
I made an agreement.
Made an agreement that you're not gonna be shit.
And then like it all changed like once I got my license and started going to the gym.
I was not that mentally strong at 16. That's the part that gets me so hard.
Were you like just starting to work out when I met you?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's like when you
Dude, I was like 4 or 5 months in, and like, you know, like when you first start, you're like, this is everything.
Oh, it's
right? And then I
everything.
walked into you and you were like, oh, okay, sweet. You know?
Yeah, I was like, dude, I was like, where do you work out? You said like Crunch. I'm like, no way, dude. I just got a membership there. Like I go
Right.
after school, Henry Ford.
Yeah, just all those past emotions about how you don't like it in the back of your head. You're like, you took a chance.
I remember when we used to like meet up there. That shit was crazy.
Yeah, bro.
What the fuck?
Imagine those service level conversations.
Yeah. Dude, you
But
were.
I feel like it got deep like one of the first days.
Yeah, it did. Let me just make sure this video. I'm gonna do this and then that. Okay. Now we're good for another 30 minutes.
Now we're back.
No, this will still go.
Pop.
It'll be a 2-second black screen on YouTube.
Oh, okay. I get what you do.
But this, if you're listening or anything, the audio won't cut. Dude, I remember like meeting Jake at the fucking party we were at, and like I don't know, dude. I was only there because of Riley, you know, and
Right.
I was kind of an outsider in a way because like I didn't really know anybody else, and it was hard for me to be social at the time. But like then we met, we got to talking, went to the gym, but like it was just funny because I was in the middle of like fucking crisis. Like, when you met me, like we'd meet up at the gym, bro. I'd just fucking be like, hold on a minute, and then I'd just start crying bad. Remember that?
Like a couple of times, yeah.
Yeah, and then you were just like, you just lightly pat me on the back.
Yeah.
I'm like, sorry. And you're like, nah, let's let it out.
Really? Dude,
Yeah.
I'm so funny.
And then I was like, holy shit, like this guy's non-fucking judgmental. This is great. Like,
Dude, yeah, I came from nothing, bro. I can't judge anyone.
I know, but just to like meet you and be that vulnerable right fucking away.
Right out the gate.
Yeah. But I mean, now look at us though, you know?
Yeah, same shit every day.
I mean, dude, I don't know. There's only very few instances where I'm afraid to be vulnerable. Very few.
Dude, I'm always afraid to be vulnerable.
But do you see like how easy that was for me? Like I just took a chance, bro.
No, it blows my mind. I think
I'm
about it in my head every time. I'm like,
I'm about to
this guy
cry.
does not give a fuck.
I'm like, dude, I'm sad right now. I'm about to let it out in front of this motherfucker because I can't hold it anymore. In the car, like when we were outside the gym, and then I just told you what was on my heart, you know.
Right.
And then remember that one time we were gonna go meet up at Leo's Coney Island when I first got my new truck.
Oh,
And-
yeah. I
and
remember being nervous there.
Yeah, and remember I told you I was tripping, like I was so.
Dude,
fucking
I was
anxious.
struggling with anxiety every day. Because I
Yeah.
remember that was a sketchy experience for me.
But remember it was closed, so we just ended up sitting in my truck.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, and then we ended up going when it got dark. We drove to that McDonald's and just got like a Diet Coke.
Hey, the Diet Coke.
Yeah. And then I made a wisecrack about the thing the lady stuck out the window for the payment.
Oh, yeah. Wasn't
Yeah.
I working there at the time?
Was that the one you were working at?
No. No,
I
because
didn't
I worked
think
up in
so.
AP. But I remember I worked at a McDonald's, and I was like, oh, yeah, I hold that card reader right out for him.
And you were like,
yeah.
well, no, you were like, whatever you said, you're like, you definitely made her day because everybody's a piece of shit in the drive-thru.
Yeah, dude, people are so disrespectful. It blows my mind. I'm like, don't you think we're going to spit in your food? Like, aren't you concerned?
Honestly, no. Like, I'm not, at least.
Bro.
That's like highly fucking illegal. And it can, to me, it's like got to be easily traced back to a fucking cook.
I don't know if this is what you want to talk about, but I've spit in people's food. People who deserve it.
Oh, my God.
You're
really?
going up front? Yeah. If
Oh
I'm making your
my
food and you're a
God.
dick, I'm going to spit in your food.
That's crazy.
What do you expect?
I don't know.
Why do
dude.
you act like this is the first time you've heard this?
Because I was a cook for 4 years, and that's unheard of for
Look,
me.
Dude, I take great pride and responsibility in my job, but I also take care of my coworkers.
That's
You're going to go up
crazy.
front, make my manager cry? You're going to make her cry because we didn't cook your food fresh when I've already cooked it fresh 3 times?
I'm not.
Clearly,
even
you're
judging.
not. Clearly, you don't want McDonald's. Get out of here.
I'm not even judging because I'm sure if I were in your shoes, I'd do the same thing.
Yeah.
Because that's ultimately the human experience, right? If I lived every moment in your life up to that point, I would have done the same thing.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why it's like, try to not be judgmental as much as you can. Like that's at least me. Like I'm not speaking to you. I'm just saying like
No, I actually told that to someone.
talking in third person. I was just like, dude, like I finally got to a point like I was telling you about earlier when I was like the more I started eating like fucking proper, and like now when I just come across any kind of content or even in public, watching people like fill their grocery carts with certain items, like fill it. I'm not talking about like they grabbed a lot of good stuff and they just threw some Pop-Tarts in there. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking where like it's purely just processed bullshit, like frozen
it's
or
just
whatever.
cheese puffs and like
Yeah.
all sorts of stuff. And I don't even like.
Like-
I get a little bit mad. I don't even want to get into that because I'm gonna
That's-
sound mean.
No, but that's the thing is I used to be really like angry about that. I was like projecting.
Well, yeah, I don't even
your
get
own
angry. I
shit.
just like it's hard not to judge someone like that when you have like a mindset, but like you can't. You know?
But now what I'm alluding to is that like now I like actually get sad when I see that. I'm like, oh my God, dude. Like they just don't know.
no, they
You
don't.
know? No, they seriously don't.
Right.
Because a lot of people get caught up in like what I refer to as the life trap. You know, where like we all I think have an equal opportunity to escape, you know, but to an extent I think that it's not as easy for some people to realize that they're kind of trapped.
Right, yeah, no, like the world's set up for you to lease like $1,000 apartment, right? Buy McDonald's every single day and then like lease a Jeep Compass.
Because it's
That's
convenient.
just how it goes, yeah.
Because it's convenient.
Path of least resistance.
Exactly. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is the least resistant.
Right, so that way you'll just be like in a corporate chain, you'll work for someone, right?
But
You'll pay your landlord.
It's an illusion, though. It's actually not least resistant. Think about how hard it is. Remember the pain of discipline or the pain of regret? Dude, like, because what's actually easier?
I think once you get in the flow of it, yeah, you realize it's a lot easier to like take, do things how you want to do them or how you feel is best.
the pain of complacency eats me alive at night.
I wonder, is it like, I wonder if there's like a decision that goes off in your brain, like where you decide, I'm not going to do this because I'm going to regret it.
Me personally?
Just with everything. You're like, I'm not going to go eat Taco Bell every day at lunch because I know I'm going to regret that. And like, why do I have the power to say no to that, but other people don't?
No, they do. What I'm like referring to is the type of information that I was indirectly like exposed to at certain points in my life that have allowed me to come to these realizations.
Right.
But it's almost like we all are, but it's whether or not you choose to ponder on those thoughts that are presented to you. Like, for example, I mean, everybody's heard since you're in elementary school, eat your vegetables. Something like that. Now, if you actually sat there and was like, eat my vegetables, like, why? Why would I do that?
That's something you taught me at the dealership is question everything.
It's true.
Right.
So that's why when I have kids, I'm not just going to bark fucking orders at them. I'm going to tell them why. Like,
right.
Dad, why do I got to eat my broccoli? Because there's something called vitamin C. Do you want scurvy, boy? You want scurvy? You know what I mean? And like teach them about the effects of artificial dyes. You know what I mean?
Now,
And
I wonder if that comes down to intelligence because people just don't know, I suppose.
Yeah, but kids are way smarter. Think about how much shit they try to get away with.
Right. No, yeah, like my little brother's way smarter than me.
But think about if you actually, instead of like barking demands at him, imagine if you were like, hey, I know you feel this way, but like, look at this.
See, the whole problem with that is that it's always easier said than done.
Yeah, of course it is.
I remember growing up, getting explained things and it just not being good enough. What do you mean I'm going to die if I don't have broccoli?
Yeah, but
let's
be honest though. Like a lot of the people that were like barking the shit at you, whether it's at school, like figures of authority, let's say, most of the time it was just blatant power trip because I said so. How many times do you ever hear that in your life?
Because you said so?
Yeah, because the person in authority, when you ask them why, they said because I said so.
Dude, that triggers me so bad.
And as a kid, it did too. Mad. And as a kid, you didn't know why, but you're like, dude, just tell me.
Oh, because you said so? Oh, okay. Because you're so credible to give me that.
That's part of it. Now imagine, Jesus Christ. We're going to pause real quick. I got to change the battery in my camera. Yo, real quick, to just throw this in the intermission. We decided it's 37 minutes long anyways. And we have jobs.
That's right. We have commitments.
We are corporate cogs in the machine as of right now. As of right now.
I like wigging up.
But there's no video to this part, so I apologize. I'll throw some text on the screen to make it a little entertaining, to keep your attention. But yeah, we're just going to wrap up this episode right here. It was a pleasure to have you, Jake, on my new podcast. And there's going to be unlimited episodes where I have you guys on. Like, because, I was saying that Jake brings out, like, the most spiritual knowledge in me. The most, like, intuitive things that, I don't know, I just come to like such more like supernatural, like spiritual conclusions when him and I get to talking.
Yeah, we wrap it up.
Yeah. Anyways, it's been a pleasure. See you guys in the next episode. Peace out.
Peace.